Hello everyone who is here today with the YouTube and listening, maybe into the future as well. And in some ways we span geography across the globe, and we also span time into the future with how these recordings work. It's kind of an amazing thing that we share and feel a connection to so much. There are maybe some of you have heard me say many times, I like to divide our experience of life, what goes on with our life moment by moment, into two areas. There is what is happening, and there is how we are with what is happening, or our relationship to what's happening. And mindfulness practice, I put in the latter camp. Mindfulness is a practice of showing up and being attentive to what is happening, and to engage in mindfulness with equanimity has the function of staying with the mindfulness, staying with a relaxed, dedicated, sincere attention to this moment, attention to next, being present, being available for the flow of the present moment as it keeps appearing and arising for us moment by moment. And one thing that helps to have equanimity, to just stay present, stay with the mindfulness moment by moment, is to not think that you are unique, that not think that what your experience is unique enough that it's an exception to what all humans experience. Not to dismiss what's happening to you, or not to make it kind of unimportant. Everything is important. You're important. But what's also important is the steadiness of how we are, the steadiness of mindfulness. When we're practicing mindfulness, it's kind of like we have the bumper sticker that says, I stop for nothing when I practice mindfulness, meaning I don't get involved and get entangled and start thinking about things, and just the bare recognition, this is what's happening now. This is what's happening, or available to experience. This is what's experiencing. This is what's known now. This is what's being experienced now. Just steady, steady, steady. Like when I went on a walking pilgrimage a good number of years ago, and it was only 2 weeks, but the idea was just keep walking. When we walk, just keep walking and walking and walking. It didn't matter what the experience around us was. Just you walk and you walk. So we are mindful, we're aware. With equanimity that allows us to just continue without getting sidetracked, without stopping for something and getting entangled in retrospective thinking. So to begin this pilgrimage of mindfulness, pilgrimage where we don't walk, we sit. We remain stationary in a stationary posture that works for you. And to tenderly close your eyes, and maybe tenderly in your heart open to yourself. Closing your eyes and opening your heart. And taking a few moments to appreciate yourself and value yourself. That perhaps that is why we're meditating. It's because we value our well-being. And this is a way of finding a valuable, important form of well-being, happiness, freedom from suffering. And to take a few long, slow, deep breaths. And the exhales really settling in here with yourself, in yourself, for yourself. Here in this body, here in this heart, here in this belly. And then to let your breathing return to normal. And because of, maybe with a sense of self-care, self-appreciation, to, as you exhale, to continue to relax what can be relaxed in your body. Face, shoulders, stomach, belly. And then settling in just to your breathing. On a walking pilgrimage, it's the feet that walk. In a stationary pilgrimage of meditation, it's your breathing in and breathing out. And to have the simplicity of breathing be something that we allow to come into our awareness. Simplicity of breathing is where awareness lands. Two metaphors for awareness. Awareness which receives, allows, awareness which lands, connects, whichever is most useful for you. And then with equanimity, that doesn't get alarmed or caught up or annoyed or think that something is unique and not part of the practice. Everything is part of practice. Everything is for the next moment of awareness. To trust. It's enough just to be aware. To trust, to just take the next moment for what it is, even if it's very similar to the previous one. Just stay. The equanimity that allows a steady continuation of the practice. Come back to that continuity. And if things are challenging, breathe with it so that your awareness rides on the currents of breathing, relaxed, available, present for the experience without getting entangled. as you meditate, nothing is extraordinary enough to stop to think about or get involved in. Everything is ordinary enough that it's just one more thing to be aware of, to be mindful of, in a steady, ongoing receptivity of awareness to what is, one breath at a time. as we come to the end of this sitting, to tenderly, calmly open up to the sufferings of the world, and to do so equanimously, meaning that we care, we feel for the suffering, we're concerned with it. And there's no need to give up the steadiness of our mindfulness. Steadiness and confidence in remaining rooted in awareness, so that we don't get pulled into our reactivity, our thinking, our predictions, our sense of obligations and should and what shouldn't be. And equanimity allows us to stay open, so that care and goodwill, respect and kindness can flow through that awareness, through the field of mindfulness. And may it be that as we learn how to be more aware in mindfulness, more mindful with equanimity, with calm, with balance, may it be that we can show up for the challenges of this world and stay close to our goodwill, well-wishing, kindness, friendliness, compassion. May all beings be happy. May all beings be safe, peaceful, and free. And may my heart and mind have this goodwill, this well-wishing for others, so that in some way or other it spreads from me, spreads from each of us into the world that we encounter today. May our love and compassion spread from this meditation session out into our communities and out into the world. May all beings be happy. So today is the part 2 of the equanimity factor of awakening. And it's also part of this series on mindfulness of breathing, which the Buddha presented a little bit like a path, that as we stay present for our breath, that we're cultivating and deepening the meditation practice with a deep relaxation of the body, a deep relaxation of the mind, until we're not just focused on the details of our life, the particular activities of the body or the mind, but we start becoming aware of the mind state, the state of mind, the quality of our mind, the feeling of kind of the gestalt or the wholeness of awareness that can just be here holding it all. And it's a fairly, mature place in meditation that we might fall into occasionally, where the 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 mind state is more salient, more prominent than the particular details of what's happening in our body or the details of what's happening in our mind. All of the above are important, but to be more holistic in the practice, to some point, to get a sense of that, the whole, the mind as a whole, the mood, mind state that we have. And those mind states have various characteristics when we get more and more settled, when the mind feels more whole or expansive or clear, the greater clarity and mindfulness. And the 7 factors of awakening are part of that. And the last one, equanimity, is part. That when when we're really stable in a strong awareness, with a strong sense of being aware in our mind state, a healthy, wholesome mind state, it tends to come with a strong sense of equanimity. And equanimity being, very simply, not getting caught in the reactivity of the mind, of being for and against things. And it's a wonderful capacity. We still might be for and against things, might have those thoughts or impulses a little bit, but equanimity, we just simply don't pick it up. We don't get involved. They just pass through. They're just fleeting kind of impulses of the moment that come and they go, and we don't pick it up. We don't get involved, and it can lead to a tremendous social good, because when we don't respond socially into the world by our reactivity, by the quick impulses of being for and against things, then we're more likely to be impartial in a really healthy understanding of impartiality, where we treat everyone equally, or we don't treat people through the filter of our desires and our aversions, kind of leaning into and wanting or pulling it back because we don't want or something. We don't so easily get pulled into our preferences. And so a sense of justice, a sense of impartiality, a sense of being someone who's safe for other people becomes more and more stronger. The more we have this equanimity, this ability to not get caught up in our reactivity or these impulses of being for and against all kinds of things. There might still be wise being for and against things, but that wisdom builds on equanimity, on being stable and settled. It's not impulsive. There's a clarity and a wholesomeness in how we respond to the world. So equanimity is both something for deep meditation and for everyday life. It's really a great boon for life. In deeper and deeper meditation, that's some place where some people can really feel this state of equanimity in a very powerful way that gives us a feeling for it and then a support of what it's like to bring that into our daily life. But in the anapanasati process, it's very much the reference point for it is in meditation. And so in meditation, the equanimity is what allows the mindfulness to be uninterrupted, to just stay in the flow of awareness, here. And we don't find ourselves drifting off in thought and coming back 2-3 minutes later. We don't find ourselves getting caught and preoccupied by what's happening. We might be very attentive to what's happening, but we're not caught by it. And so the steadiness of mindfulness, it just holds the course, keeps walking, keeps engaging step by step. Equanimity kind of allows that steadiness and continuity of awareness. And equanimity, the upekkha, as I said yesterday, has a lot to do with wisdom. So having an overview of the situation. And it's not a wisdom that's acquired knowledge that we bring with us and apply, but rather something that we deeply understand as we go along. And there's a variety of things. One can be that it's not worthwhile being reactive. It's not being worthwhile being caught up in thoughts or thought up in our reactivity. It's just not valuable for us, and we can feel that and sense that directly. The other is that we can have a clear feeling for the impermanence of phenomena, the inconstancy of it, how things come and go and change. And to really understand that means we don't then relate to things as if they're going to be there forever, or if they're, something that's fixed that has to be fixed, something fixed that has to be fixed. And so having a clear sense, this is impermanent, this is change as well, can let us set back and just be willing to just be present, be aware. The wisdom of not taking all these things personally, that I'm not unique, that my experience is not unique, that many people have meditation, probably all the experiences we've had in one way or the other, others have had as well. And it's one of the primary roles of sometimes of a meditation teacher is to normalize people's experiences. And for the most part, to normalize, just make it ordinary, it's okay, it's just part of the process. So we can keep coming back to the equanimous mindfulness, steady mindfulness that doesn't get perturbed or agitated by no matter what is happening, no matter the fear or the pain or the suffering or that we're experiencing in meditation. It's all normalized in a certain way. So not taking it personally is one of those ways. And so there's a variety of kind of wisdoms that come into play that really supports this ability to stay equanimous, balanced, unagitated in our experience. But also this equanimity comes from a sense of balance. And balance has something to do with inner strength that we cultivate. When there's a strength of mindfulness, a strength of concentration, a strength of stability, then it's kind of like we have a stability. We have something that holds us down, keeps us grounded, allows us to withstand the winds of the mind, the winds of change, and things that come and go. And to develop that strength by the continuity of meditation, meditating maybe almost every day and regularly, and developing this. The mind is an instrument that can be developed and strengthened and trained. And not everyone develops their mind. Everyone trains their mind to be strong. And part of what ongoing regular meditation practice is about is not just showing up and being mindful of stuff and accepting of stuff, but also developing an inner strength, a capacity to let go, a capacity to really stay present and be steady with experience and not wander off in all kinds of things, a strength of concentration, a strength of even joy. So as we get stronger and stronger, we're not buffeted so much by the winds of change, the winds of what goes on. And so we're more able to kind of hold the course. And so as the ninth step of this anapanasati, mindfulness of the mind, is to start experiencing and sensing that we have this amazing resource, this amazing thing called citta, called mind, that we want to care for. That's a reference point for a well-being, a wholeness, that any kind of suffering we have is a subset of. And so when the mind is really spacious and open, expansive, present, and we're aware of the citta in a more bigger way, it's much harder to take our greeds, our attachments, our lusts, our addictions, our hates, hostilities, regrets, resentments, our fears, as being all there is. They all become a piece of the puzzle. They're not the whole puzzle. The whole puzzle feels more like the mind that can be aware of it all. And there's a lot, can be a feeling of great goodness, great rightness, great kind of in that kind of sense of a mind, or this inner life which is whole. And so whether it's completely whole or feels completely kind of as satisfying as I'm saying here, that keeps coming now as we continue the practice of anapanasati. Step 10 is gladdening the mind, or feeling the satisfaction of the mind, of being connected to this mind that feels more whole. And then the 11th step is samadhi, is concentrating the mind or unifying the mind, which we'll talk about soon enough. And that's what makes the mind even more whole. So it's a fantastic process here, and And I know that it's not easy to experience all these things I'm talking about, but part of the confidence in practice is to know that you're on a good path. And part of the equanimity that comes with practice is the confidence, this is a good path to be on. I can just walk this path steadily, keep going. I don't have to be too concerned about how far I've gotten because I know I'm on a good path. And I'll keep walking. So thank you for today, and I look forward, as I almost every day do now, of coming and sitting and teaching here with you. Thank you.